Overcoming fragile faith. Overcoming fragile faith. Have you ever thought about how fragile our faith is when we're in the face of difficult challenges? How do we overcome that? How do I get through that? I know I have a measure of faith, but seemingly through the situation, my faith becomes even more fragile. How do you do that? Well, good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna, and I certainly have a word for you on this morning. And it's all about how do I overcome my fragile faith? How do I firm up my faith? Anybody know what I'm talking about? That your faith does not seem to be firm. Well, that's what we're going to give you the text to talk to take away about that in this morning. But let me greet some people and get right into it. Good morning, Ella. How are you? Good morning, Brenda. How are you? Good morning, Yvonne. How are you? Good morning, Gloria. How are you? Good morning, Elder Mobley. How are you doing this morning? Vicky, how are you? Lydia, how are you doing this morning? Good morning, Erica. How are you on this morning? It's Happy Friday Eve. You right. You must be looking forward to the weekend. How about that? Good morning, Minister Sent. How are you doing on this morning? Good morning, Cynthia. How are you? Diane, how are you? Verena, how are you? Jewel, how are you on this morning? Good morning, Thelma. How are you? Good to see you here. Ramona, I see you here. See you working it through all the way with the Bible study. Bible study was pretty good last night. I don't know about you all, but it sure spoke to me. And that First Lady laid out for us, man, that's going to be good. It's going to produce. You watch and see. Good morning, Gloria. How are you? Carolyn, how are you? Jacqueline, how are you? Elder Lawson, how are you doing on this morning? Anna, how are you? Brother Nesbitt, how's everything going with you? It's a good day to be on Morning Manna. It's a good day to be on Morning Manna. You guys know what? I have finished a book, getting in the last stages of a book, Leading Through Storms. How do you lead through storms? And I'm really, really excited about it. Now, when my book is published in March of next year, I'm going to want my Manna fam to buy the book. Y'all going to do that for me? You got to buy the book. Make sure you do that. I can't wait. We're right at the very end of it, and put it in all together. The publisher is putting the last little I, dotting the last I's and crossing the last of the T's. So I really want you all to get this book. It's going to be published in March, and that is Leading Through Storms. Leading Through Storms. Good book. In fact, successfully navigating ministry while maintaining your mental health. Different kind of title, isn't it? It's going to be good. It is good. So let's get it right into the word on this morning. This morning, it is all about overcoming fragile faith. How many of you ever had or deal with the instability of your faith? The faith that begins well, starts well, but doesn't all the way take you through to where you're trying to go. Well, that's what we're going to talk about on this morning. Matthew 14 and 30. Matthew 14 and 30, you already know this. Hear it again through the lens of the fragility of faith. But when Peter saw the wind, he was afraid and beginning to sink, cried out, Lord, save me. When he saw the wind, he cried out, Lord, save me. Now, in the 29th verse, he asked, Lord, if it is you, bid me to come. But here at the end of the 30th verse, he said, Lord, save me. Those are bookends of faith. Those are bookends of faith. What does that mean? How does that work? You got to be able to work through the fragility of your faith. The first thing is that you have to do, faith must endure through the situation. Your faith must endure through the situation. Don't let up. Keep holding on. Don't let go. Because if you let go, the outcome that you're looking for may or may not happen. Well, Bishop, how do I do that? Well, remain focused. That's the second thing. How do I don't let go? Remain focused. Remember that Peter said he looked at the wind. Everybody knows you can't see the wind. You can't see the wind. There's no way he lost his focus on Jesus. It was Jesus that told him to bid him to come. And clearly, Jesus is in the storm with them. So here's the third thing I want you to grab a hold of. Faith holds on to Jesus. Faith holds on to Jesus. Now I want you to grab the fact that, like I said, in verse 29, Lord, if it is you, bid me to come. And of course, Jesus said, come. The Greek word for come means to advance. All right. That's the one bookend. The other bookend is at the end. He says, Lord, save me. So he did have faith in the Lord, in Jesus, to save him. And he holds on to Jesus right at the end. They get in the boat together. What are you saying here, Bishop? What I'm saying is that when you are walking through situations, you got to know that Jesus is right there with you. Jesus is right there with you. What's your takeaway this morning? The takeaway this morning is this: the fragility of your faith can be stabilized when you hold on to Jesus. The fragility of your faith will, can, and always be stabilized when you hold on to Jesus. The Lord be with you today. His face shine upon you and give you peace. Share this manna. If it bless you, bless somebody else. I'll see you tomorrow morning with more morning manna, which will be a preview of the sermon on this Sunday. God bless you.